That is a complex and highly debated question. Many scholars and experts have indeed raised the concern that artificial intelligence, AI, and its associated global dynamics could represent a new form of digital colonialism for developing countries, especially those that struggle to keep pace with the rapidly evolving technology. This concept suggests that the power imbalances of historical colonialism are being mirrored in the digital age. Core arguments for AI as a new colonialism: data extraction and control. Large multinational tech companies, predominantly based in the global north, rely on vast amounts of data, including data from the global south, to train their powerful AI systems. This is viewed as an extractive practice, where the raw material, data, is taken with minimal transparency or equitable benefit to the originating communities. Developing nations can lose data sovereignty, meaning they lack control over how their citizens' information is used, stored, and governed, often by foreign entities. Labor exploitation. The development of AI often relies on a hidden workforce in the global south for tasks like data labeling, content moderation, and human-in-the-loop services. These workers often face precarious employment, low wages, and exposure to harmful content, while the economic profits are highly concentrated in the wealthy nations. Technological dependency and algorithmic bias. Developing countries become overly dependent on foreign-owned digital infrastructure and AI systems. This stifles local innovation and leaves them vulnerable to decisions made outside their borders. AI systems are typically trained on datasets reflecting the languages, cultures, and priorities of the global north. When these systems are deployed in developing nations, they can perpetuate biases, misrepresent cultural nuances, and lead to cultural flattening. Source 1.6. Potentially resulting in algorithmic oppression and unfair outcomes in critical sectors like healthcare, finance, or governance. Resource and environmental harm. Training and running large AI models requires immense computing power, which consumes vast amounts of electricity and water, resources already scarce in many developing countries. The demand for rare earth minerals needed for AI hardware, like cobalt and lithium, can exacerbate environmental degradation and resource exploitation in the mining regions, often located in the global south. The counter-perspective and opportunity. Despite these significant risks, AI is also seen as a powerful tool for accelerated development, leapfrogging, if managed correctly. Opportunities for progress. AI can offer solutions to major challenges in developing nations, such as healthcare, improving diagnostics and telemedicine access in rural areas. Agriculture, providing predictive analytics for better crop management and climate resilience. Education, offering personalized learning tools and scaling educational access. Path to digital sovereignty. Many countries are working to counter the risk of dependency by investing in local innovation and talent to build AI models and infrastructure tailored to local languages and cultural contexts. Developing regulatory frameworks for data protection and AI governance that align with their national interests and values. The key challenge for developing countries is to adopt AI in a way that maximizes its developmental benefits while asserting technological sovereignty and preventing its use as a mechanism for further economic and cultural domination. Would you like me to look into specific examples of how an African or Asian country is trying to build its own sovereign AI capabilities? That's an excellent follow-up. The pursuit of sovereign AI, the ability of a nation to control, govern, and independently develop its own AI systems, is now a major strategic goal across the global south. Here are concrete examples from Africa and Asia demonstrating this effort to counter digital colonialism. India, the AI for All and Digital Public Infrastructure (DPI) model. India's strategy is rooted in the philosophy of digital public infrastructure (DPI), aiming to create foundational digital systems that are open source, interoperable, and owned by the public, ensuring the benefits of AI are not monopolized by private or foreign entities. 1. Indigenous Large Language Models, LLMs. The goal: to build foundational AI models that deeply understand India's linguistic and cultural diversity, which are often poorly represented in models trained in the West. The India AI mission has called for proposals to develop indigenous foundational models. Startups like Sarvam AI have been chosen to lead the development of India's first sovereign LLMs, focusing on the country's diverse local languages and context. Sovereignty factor. This move is critical for linguistic sovereignty, ensuring that AI tools used in governance, education, and commerce speak and understand the 22 scheduled Indian languages and local dialects. 2. Data sovereignty and localization. The goal, to ensure sensitive data in finance, defense, and healthcare, remains within national borders and is governed by domestic law. The action, India has been strengthening its data protection and localization frameworks. This pressure has prompted major global cloud providers to establish data centers within India, increasing domestic control over critical digital infrastructure. Sovereignty factor. Establishing national data centers and legal frameworks for data residency makes the country less vulnerable to foreign jurisdictional interference and data misuse. Nigeria and South Africa, building foundational AI in Africa. African nations are focusing on building local capacity to move from being mere consumers of foreign technology to creators of their own. 1. Nigeria's Linguistic AI Initiative. The goal, to overcome the profound lack of representation of African languages in global AI models, which limits AI's practical use for most of the population. The action, Nigeria is actively pursuing a language model initiative to build foundational AI that understands and processes major indigenous languages like Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo. This effort is seen as a form of infrastructural sovereignty. Sovereignty factor. By building models from the ground up that reflect local linguistic and cultural contexts, Nigeria is ensuring that AI serves local needs and priorities, preventing cultural flattening by foreign models. 2. South Africa's institutional sovereignty. The goal, to coordinate domestic expertise and create a pipeline of local talent for AI development and governance. The action, South Africa has established the Center for Artificial Intelligence Research, CAIR, which coordinates AI research and capacity building across multiple universities. Parliament has also committed to new AI legislation to ensure ethical and context-appropriate deployment. Sovereignty factor. This focuses on institutional sovereignty by building a domestic knowledge base and setting its own legal and ethical rules for AI rather than simply adopting foreign standards. Malaysia and Indonesia, sovereign cloud and infrastructure. In Southeast Asia, the focus is heavily on controlling the hardware and cloud environment that AI systems run on. 1. Indonesia's data localization mandate. The goal, to retain control over critical information assets and reduce dependency on foreign infrastructure. The action, Indonesia's digital nationalism policies and its personal data protection law mandate that public data must reside domestically. Sovereignty factor. This is directly pushing global tech companies like Amazon Web Services to open local Jakarta data centers, which creates jobs, lowers latency, and gives the government more legal leverage over the data. 2. Malaysia's national cloud strategy. The goal, to secure national digital infrastructure and boost domestic AI adoption. The action, Malaysia is investing in a sovereign cloud infrastructure through initiatives like My Digital, which aims to migrate government data to local servers. They are also partnering with hardware leaders like NVIDIA to develop homegrown AI tools, particularly for the manufacturing sector. Sovereignty factor. Owning the cloud infrastructure is a critical step towards compute sovereignty, ensuring national security and reliable access to the processing power needed to run and train large AI models without external interference. These examples illustrate that the response to digital colonialism is not rejection, but a strategic effort to indigenize AI by controlling the data, the models, and the infrastructure. Would you be interested in learning about the challenges these countries face in securing enough computing power and talent to truly achieve this sovereign AI vision? That is the central strategic vulnerability for nations pursuing sovereign AI, the massive and accelerating costs associated with compute power and the global battle for talent. Here is a breakdown of the key challenges, often called the AI divide, that developing countries must overcome to achieve true digital sovereignty. The compute power challenge, the infrastructure gap. Sovereign AI requires training large, custom foundational models, which is computationally expensive and difficult to scale without existing infrastructure. 1.